This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Griffin, Indiana 22. But before that, this video is brought to you by Big Phil and Aaron Just. Thank you for being farm barons. So the Griffin, Indiana 22 map can be found up at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Now let me read a little bit of the description. Griffin is a real-life town located in southern Indiana, USA. The town and area are typically of older Midwestern settlements. Most farmers today plant corn, soybeans, and winter wheat here. However, it is your time to take the reins and shape this sandbox friendly map the way you want. This is a complete rebuild of FS19's Griffin, Indiana. Now, the description goes on to talk about the local legend of the Bigfoot. And while the Bigfoot has moved on in Farm Sim 22's version of this map, Bigfoot has left 100 gold coins scattered around the map for you to collect. So this map does indeed use collectibles, and it does have custom collectibles. This map features a highly detailed real-world location, real terrain data, real soil data for the custom soil map that is part of precision farming if you do use precision farming, real off-map border image, custom area for its growth counter. So we have a custom growth counter, custom license plates, custom farm workshop at the main farm, usable buildings on the farms, standard crops, field contracts, baling contracts, a working train, pedestrian traffic, vehicle traffic, helper friendly fields, small, medium, and large fields that can be easily merged, a large riding trail network for those of you with horses or those of you that just want to take a motorcycle or a quad bike out in the trails. Main roads will not accumulate snow. Roads are ownable should you so wish, and Deco Bush is mowable. This map also includes a lot of buyable land in the main town, as well as 2 buyable areas at the campground and 1 wee little small buyable area at the local motel if you are really looking to start on the cheap. Let's go ahead and load on in. We are going to use the mods that we typically use when we take a look at maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. I will say, while we wait for the map to load on up, if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you do not own any land. The main farm is built out exactly how you're going to see it here in new farmer mode, except you do not own any machinery. And here we are, guys. Welcome to Griffin, Indiana. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. Scroll on out, and we do have all the standard crop types available to us here in Farm Sim 22. If you take a look at the lands area, you'll see we start out by owning the main farm here, as well as all of the grass area across the road. And then we have field 35. There are lots of buyable plots of forestry. This area here is going to be mostly grassy areas. We have a lot of our farming down in the southern half of the map. Now, if we zoom on in, you can see that if we want to, we can become the baseball baron by owning the baseball stadium. We also have the ability to buy lots of these plots of land here in town. Now, if you buy these plots in town, some of them have little barns, little garages that you can sell, but for whatever reason, you cannot sell the houses on these plots of land. Now, you could buy it, you could put a sleep trigger down, and you could just pretend that that is your sleep area, and then maybe you have a farm that is, let's say, over here by field 17. Or you could buy land here and put down other sell points or small production points to expand your gameplay. We do have some buyable points here for production. One of these is right here, $69,600. As I mentioned, that there was a small plot down here at the motel that is located right there, $720 we'll buy you that place so you can put your head at night. And if you are of the camping variety, there are 2 plots over here at the campground that you can buy for $2,500 and $2,800, respectively. Now, as far as other fields or farms on this map, we have the main starting farm right there. We have an area here that you could buy. There is a house here that you cannot sell, but you could build out your own little farm right there. So that's 2. There's one located right here at field 23. That's 3. There's one located at field 24. One over here at field 17. 5. There's one located right here by field 1. That is 6. There is one down here by field 3. That is 7. And I believe that is all. There's one right here that also could possibly qualify. So we'll call that one possible farm area number 8. Let's go ahead and take a look at our farmland lease screen. And this is going to show us all of the owned and unowned viable farm lands, how big those farmlands are, and if they include any fields on that particular farmland, and ultimately how much that farmland is going to cost us. So let's go ahead and just slowly scroll through this list. And at any point in time, you can pause the video, take note of the farmland, how much the farmland is going to be, and a particular field if you are interested in then seeing possibly how big that field may be. Well, we're going to show you that here in a few moments. At this point, we're taking a look at a lot of the areas that are in town that are viable. Here we have our field calculator. You can see that we own field 35, which is 5 hectares in size. We have quite the array of field sizes here. Field 1 is 25 hectares in size. Then we come down here to smaller fields like this one here, field 20, it's 1.72. Then we've got some smaller fields that are 0.89, all the way down to little old garden plot field 39, 0.07 hectares in size. We do have a custom crop counter available to us here in Griffin, Indiana. See that located right here. Just taking a look at the crop counter, it does not appear to me that we do have the ability to do any sort of... We do have the ability to double crop. We have, if we want to, we could do winter wheat or barley. We're going to be able to get that off the field in June. And then we're also going to then be able to plant soybeans in June, that we could then pull our soybeans off in October and November. So we do have the ability to possibly double crop with respect to soybeans and olives, should we wish to do that. Take a look at our prices screen. You will see that we do indeed have the ability to sell all of the standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 22. We also have the ability to sell all of the animal outputs: wood chips, silage, hay, straw, and grass. And then when we come down here to our in-game, base game production elements, we do have the ability to sell each and every production item that we could possibly make in the base game on this particular map. We also have the ability to buy bulk lime, as well as the ability to sell stones at the stone crusher. We do start out with a decent list of starting machinery. It is well used, though, but fairly well maintained. So it does retain a decent amount of value, even though we do have a fair number of operating hours on it. This map does not include any animals, as there are none owned at the start, nor are there any pre-placed. We do have contracts available. We do have a fermenting silo also owned at the start. And as I said, there are 100 collectible coins on the map. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tab up to the starting farm, because you can see we start down here at the southern edge of the map, and lo and behold, look, we've got one of those collectible coins located right here. Well, thank you very much, and that is $500 per collectible coin. For a minute, I thought there was a coin in the drawer. So now that we have tabbed up here to the main farm, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment. We start out with the John Deere 7810 medium tractor, the Topliner 4090H harvester that is paired up with the 4090H grain header, and then of course the 4090H header trailer. We have the 1986 pickup truck, as well as the John Deere Gator Side by side, we have the Welger DK115 trailer, the Rabe EG39 cultivator, the Nordstein HK25 NS3030 seeder, and then a 900 kilogram front weight. This map does not include any custom vehicles or machinery that is a part of the map because we do not see it listed here in mods or DLCs. And let's take a look at our main farm tour. So we've got our custom machine shop here with our repair trigger. Our farmhouse is located right up on the hill. Now we can sell everything here at the starting farm, including the fence that is both around the main farm and the fence that is around the grass area across the street. So we have our sleep trigger. Side by side. It's just a deco building located right here. And if we sell this, we do have a bit of a hole down below because this is the barn from Elm Creek, so we do have a lower level. Here we have our fermenting silo that we own at the start. So we have our fill pipe, we have our dump station. Let's go ahead and go back up to our production area. So this will accept chaff, hay, or grass. So we have chaff converting to silage, hay converting to silage, and grass converting to silage right there. We have our standard base game crop silo. And that is pretty much the main starting farm. As I said, everything on the main farm can be sold, as well as the white fence here. There's a fence that runs around the back side of the main farm, and then it runs down and along the road. Then we also own this area across the street. And if we wanted to, we could also sell this fence and gate that runs along this area. Now, let me jump back real quick because I just realized that I forgot to go through the soil map. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how the custom soil map is applied to this map. As you can see, a fair bit of loam is going to exist on the map. We've got a few slivers of loamy sand down to the south, good chunk of sandy loam on field 7 with some silty clay intermixed in. Got some silty clay and sandy loam running across through fields 21, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And our starting field has loam, sandy loam, and silty clay. For that, let's go ahead and take to the sky. We're going to do our fly around, and then we'll come back, get in our Mahindra, and drive around once we get down to the vehicle shop. Now, I played Griffin, Indiana in 19 a fair bit. And of course, we've got a different farm built out with FS22 buildings as opposed to FS19 buildings. We did own this land. I think we owned this land at the start in 19. If we didn't, I bought this land and used it a fair bit. We had a shed up here, a barn up here, and I always talked about how neat it would have been if this area was set up with horses, because of course horses were new in Farm Sim 19. Now in 22, this area is free of the barn, so you can put down really whatever you want. This would be a great area for animals. It would be a really great area to further expand your farming enterprise across the street, if that is something you're into. Here we have our starting field. Field 35. A few small, narrow fields along the road that are currently planted in grass. Then we have a field 36 kind of tucked up here around the corner. Go ahead and pull up the main map here. This map includes 7 production items built in. We have 2 pre-placed fermenting silos. We have a dairy, a spinnery, we have a flour mill, as well as the sawmill and the BGA. Down below you can see some of the extensible riding or walking trails that are just along this part of the map, and there's going to be a fair number of trails that are pretty much located through all of the forested areas. We have our campground, and like I said, one of these areas here you can buy and make this your farmland, your starting farm if you want, or you can buy an area located, where is it? I think it's located around here. Let's take a look. Yep, right there. You can buy this plot right here, or one of these over here if you happen to have a camper, complete with, oh, look at that, electrical hookups, water hookups, and all of that fun jazz. Now this campground does have a sell point located also right there. That's going to be for wood chips and wood chips alone. We are skirting right along the map edge to get to the campground. Here we have one of the other potential player start farms, or if you're playing this map in multiplayer, another possible player farm. Now we can sell the shed, but the house is permanently placed at this location. Although if you do buy the house, you can of course put a sleep trigger down there, but you're not going to be able to sell the house. Since we have 7 production areas as well as a couple areas that we can buy in town to put down our own production, we are going to give the map a full point with respect to having production or areas set aside for such. We're also going to give the map a full point with respect to having sell points for all the base gaming crops, productions, and animal outputs. Here we have another possible player farm. We can sell the shed, but again, the house is permanent. Right across the street, we have a third possible farm. Again, we can sell the shed, but the house is permanent. Not a whole lot of land here. And one thing that I did want to check, and we'll come back a little bit later and check that out, is can we sell the fencing around this particular area to maybe then expand into Field 12. Here we have lots of viable residential areas, and some of these we have little sheds, little garages that we can sell. Others do not, but in all of these cases, we cannot sell the farmhouse. This is probably one of the larger viable farms. We can sell the buildings, we can sell the silo, but again, the house that I would say is associated with the farm, it is permanently affixed. You will see Field 24 does happen to include an oil pump in the field. This oil pump does have collisions, so you will need to work around this, or if you have AI helpers, you may need to give them a little bit of assistance in getting around here as well. And look, we've got just another one of those collectible coins. To the left, we have another potential starting farm. This one includes a nice pond down there, a little eating area. This does not have any other barn or other outbuildings. And again, the house is permanently affixed with this particular area. We have our flour mill, which we'll take a little closer look during the drive around, located right there. Our spinnery. And then a fair bit of action down here in town. Making our way to the biogas plant. The biogas plant also has a viable water point as well as a other viable area, which we will look at in more detail when we get to our drive around. But we have our BGA with our triggers located there. We have one pre-placed silage bunker. We have our stone crusher, as well as a way of loading onto the train right here. Train does come across every 15 minutes according to the description. Here we have a buy point for water and a buy point for some other goods. We have our dairy, and then we have a large placeable area here that we can buy and put other production items down. Here we have a train transfer silo, so we have the ability to dump and fill from the train as well as dump and fill from the trailer. We have a buy point here to buy some bulk product. We have our vehicle shop and our maintenance trigger around the back of the shed, or the big vehicle storage building, I should say. For animal dealer, as well as a bale sell point and manure buy point. We have our sawmill. Another playable farm. Now, this particular farm has the other pre-placed fermenting silo located right here. The white barn cannot be sold, as well as the house. But everything else here could be sold if you wanted to change it around, but just be aware the white barn is permanent and is also unusable. We have our grocery store sell point down here along the main drag, and I like how this sell point is set up because we have to go around the back to get to the loading docks. That's where we're going to sell our product. We have a sell point here at Uncle Pete's Diner. We have our fuel station, and here we have the motel. So this is where we have that one viable plot of land. Zoom on in. We can see we are basically right on top of that viable area. And it's either this one with the coin, or it might just be this one right here with the different door. Then we have our 8th potential additional barn or farm located right in here all the way to the south of the map. Again, we have the ability to sell that shed. That is permanent, and that is permanent as well. Let's head on back up to the vehicle shop where we're going to get our Mahindra and do our drive around. We have our customized repair, sell, trade, and repaint trigger here. Lots of coins scattered all over the place. And there's plenty of coins that I didn't show or mention, so don't worry. We're not going to spoil it for you. Let's go ahead and get our Mahindra. Got a decent area here for vehicles to spawn in at. And then something to pay attention is how big of an area do we have to get vehicles out of here and out to the main road. And then once we get out to the main road, how wide is the road to go up and down? Got some bridges to deal with. We've got the train tracks to deal with. The first thing I want to check out is this particular buy point located right here. So we can buy canola, sunflower, soybeans, corn, potatoes located at this particular area. As I said, this is going to be a train dump, transfer, and storage silo, so we can come in with our trailer, dump in here. In the FS19 version of the map, this was a sell point. We can pull product out of the silo into a trailer right there. And then, of course, we have the train tracks where we can pull product in and out of for the train. Let's go ahead and make our way down south. We do have a sell point here at the bowling alley. We have a wardrobe at the laundromat. Nice area for the toy store. And then the grocery. Remember, we have to go all the way around the back to get to the grocery unload area. I like this. I like this touch. And we could then go up the back alley that way, or make our way back around to the main road. Uh-oh. There's Bigfoot, wanted alive. That's on the back of the Welcome to Griffin, Indiana sign. Let me go ahead and buy all of the viable farmlands, and then I want to stop at each and every one of them and just see if we can sell fences and some of these other barns just as validation. As you can see, we now own all of the viable farmlands. Let's go ahead and hit into build mode. And if we put our cursor over the house, over the barn, nothing happens. But we can sell, if we want, the old shed. Let's see. So this fencing seems to be permanent, not that big of a deal. It's not that imposing. It's not that imposing. Given the fact that we can't sell all of the buildings at all of the potential farm areas, we are going to give the map 3/4 of a point with respect to having farms that can be customized. While we can't customize the entirety of the main farm, there are areas that we will see throughout the rest of the tour, but there are other viable farmland areas that we cannot totally sell and therefore be totally customized. So we've got our 5 point there at the diner. We have our gas station. We've already shown the small viable plot of land at the motel. Let's make our way across the street where we're going to find our animal dealer. $5 point for manure and our bale sell point. We have the sawmill where we have our log sell point, our wood sell trigger. We have our spawn point for our wood chips and our pallet point for our planks. And here we have another one of the viable farms, as we mentioned. We can sell these particular facilities. The shed, this shed. We can sell the fermenting silo, but this barn and the house are permanent. And we can sell the fencing along here. That's good. We can't sell that fencing. Let's see if we can sell this. Part of the fencing seems to go away, but other parts seem to remain. Just gonna pull up the PDA large size. We're gonna duck up this back alley. There's Little Old Field 39. Remember we talked about a little garden plot? There's Small Field 39. Now, with respect to buildings using the new texturing technique, for the most part, all of these buildings are from Farm Sim 22. There is one exception, and that is the courthouse or schoolyard that is located right across from the church. Right up here, we are not going to deduct any points with respect to this one building. So here we have the farmer's market sell point. But this building located right here is from FS19's version of Griffin, Indiana. It is not using new texture technique, but again, it's just a single building, so we are not going to deduct any points there. And I did say I wanted to check out this particular area with respect to fencing. All right, we can get rid of the fence along there. We can sell this shed if we want. And again, the house is affixed. But if we wanted to, we can get rid of this fence and then expand into the field, which is nice to see. Let's go ahead and do a little in-cab driving. We're making our way over to the campground. This area over here, field 17, and the pond area down there, it is just amazingly picturesque. We are turning into the campground. Map author has done and did in 19 as well an absolute fabulous job with respect to kind of giving you an area that just has a good feeling to it, right? You just get the sense that this is Griffin. You feel like you could show up at Griffin right now and find this exact campground, walk these exact trails. So there we have a sell point for our wood chips, and if we were so inclined, we could buy and put a tent down here and have this little campground as our starting out point. We could buy and rent a camping space there for a camper. Whoa, dude, just walk right past me. Hey, if the map doesn't strike your fancy for farming, just download it and ride the trails on a horse, walk the trails, get one of the little motorcycle mods, little quad bike mods, and drive the trails. Main farm is just over that tree line, up on the hill. so glad to see this map come out for console players. Oftentimes, American console players, oftentimes will feel left out when American maps get released outside of the Giants mod hub. So here we have a large viable farm. Lots of buildings pre-placed. Again, you can sell all of these buildings except for the house. I don't think that really is overly impactful here at this area just because there's just so much land. Make our way over to our spinnery and then flour mill. And we'll conclude by driving up to the little house up by field 31. So we have our spinnery. We have our dump point, we have our pallet spawn point, and then around this side, we have our interactive trigger. Really love the use of trains and elevations when we see these things on the maps where we kind of have to duck down a little hill to get into a sell point, or we have a little bit of a rise to get up to the road, you know. So here we have the mill. So we have our interactive trigger, we have our pallet point, we have our dump station, and then we also have, this is interesting, what per se might this be? We can buy wheat, barley, oats, sorghum here at the mill. That's interesting. So they will sell you excess product, if you will. Get out of the road, dear. Let's make our way up here. This nice quaint hilltop area. I have to say, I really like the hilltop house in 19. It had like a terrace, it had like a deck and everything. Really cool area. So as far as player interactive area triggers being clearly marked, we are going to give the map a full point there. That is going to give the map a 4.75 out of 5. The only spot we took any real points off was the fact that we can't sell, for whatever reason, all of the buildings at all of the viable farms. I'm not really that hung up on the fact that we can literally buy nearly every residential plot in town and that all those houses are fixed. So that's not that bothersome to me. But I would like to have the ability for the player, if they buy this farm here, this farm down here, to be able to get rid of the house and this barn. Or if they buy this farm here, to be able to get rid of the white barn and the house, to have full control over what happens at this space. Just like the player has full control up here at the starting farm. And that is why we have taken off 1/4 of a point. Let me know, guys, what you all think down in... What the heck is that? Down in the comments below with respect to Griffin, Indiana. Stuck. We're not going to take any points off for that, but look what I found. I found some collisions with no buildings. All right, anyway, we come down here, we can just chillax down here at the water. We can have a little picnic. We got a little fire, and oh, looky here. Yeah, we got some more coinage. And until next time, happy farming.